0.5%. Let's talk about UK trade, what we're seeing. Initially, Ben Morris is a CFD trader at JN Financial. Good to see you this morning, Ben. So we're opening quite a bit weaker on the FTSE, off by almost 2%.
Yes, Louisa, following on obviously from yesterday's decline in the US while we were shut. It is really a turbulent time for these kind of markets, with oil doing what it's doing and the dollar being as erratic as it is. So it's hard for traders to find some traction and some real direction in these markets, which are really being buffeted by things other than the individual equities. Obviously this week we've got a huge amount of focus on resource and commodity stocks with Cairn. Obviously we've seen Rio today and that ongoing complexity with regulators in Australia, and obviously their thoughts that iron ore could form a monopoly with those two tying up. And Cairn Energy, I don't think really I'm expecting anything less than a beat, but it's just the degree to which we beat on that side of things, and obviously how much they found in Greenland as far as I'm concerned.
Ben, what type of trades are you seeing a lot of at the moment then? I mean, I'm assuming there still is a lot of activity seen in the miners and in the financials as you're indicating, but are you starting to see any types of switches from one to the other? Are you starting to see proper rotations?
We are seeing rotations, but they're generally intraday rotations. So what we're seeing is when there's negative sentiment in the market and the market does start to be sold, then you start seeing defensive buying in things like BAE, which have got an enormous amount of good cash flow and some good contracts, and Cobham, and your staples like Reckitt Benckiser, obviously knocked a little bit by household retail figures being down last week. But otherwise you're seeing defensive buying, at which point when you see some further increased selling, then you get some increased selling in these stable stocks. So some very choppy trade out there at the moment, some nervous people, and really it seems like it's auxiliary staff at these big trading firms that are closing positions, and we're seeing this, as far as I'm concerned, an unconvincing summer rally.
Yeah, a bit curious that you've got HSBC, for an example, trading higher by 0.5% today, while you've got at the same time kind of selling in the financial sector on the other hand. What type of levels would you anticipate that we'll close out August with? I mean, we've got a week left, and then August is over.
Sure. Interestingly enough, if you look at our lows, our recent July lows, then you're talking about a 50% retracement between that peak of about 6.4 down to the levels of 5 is about 5.7. So I could quite comfortably see 5.7, at which point when we step into August and we start to see a little bit more heavy volume, a little bit more of the bigger money step back into this market, and this market really starts to go lower when this pressure comes back. I say that the market needs to go lower on the pressure and the money coming back into the market, because I just don't think there's positive enough traction in the news that's coming out of the market at the moment.
Ben, thank you very much for coming in to talk to us this morning. Ben Morris, a CFD trader at JN Financial. I just want to bring you a bit of news that we're just seeing flashed on our wires at the moment.